I challenge Davy Jones.
I accept that.
Background action and action!
Then you're a poor captain.
Hey everyone, I'm Luke Custer, and that is Davy Jones, talking to Jack Sparrow aboard the Black Pearl. No, wait, that is Davy Jones. And the film is Pirates of the Caribbean 2, Dead Man's Chest.
You will watch this.
Davy Jones has been one of piracy's most renowned mythological figures, and in 2006, the character would be brought to life on screen by a celebrated British actor not known for his blockbusters and more known for this.
I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes.
That's Bill Nighy in 2003's Love Actually.
Love is all around. Oh, fuck, wank, bugger, shitting, arse, head, and hole. Start again.
And before that, there was his time spent on stage in the West End.
The idea of being on TV or anything hadn't, you know, I had no plans or no idea that you could do that. And I worked in the theatre for nearly a decade before anybody put me in front of a camera.
And that experience is key, because Nighy wasn't just playing a villain, was he? Take the way Davy Jones is first introduced. He's cold, composed, impassive, but when we see him on board the Dutchman, he's in agony.
Davy Jones is wounded so deeply. He's famous in mythology for having torn out his own heart in an effort to never feel that way again.
This is Davy Jones.
Is he a bad guy?
Well, depends on really how you look at things.
Will Turner and Davy Jones, two men driven by love, but somewhere down the line there's a deviation. One chooses to suffer the pain of love, while the other tries to bury it, using his misguided anger to make others suffer. But the closer his heart gets, the closer his pain gets, the more vulnerable and exploited he becomes.
The Dutchman sails as its captain commands.
And its captain is to sail it as commanded.
But when we talk about Davy Jones, we aren't just talking about Bill Nighy's animated performance. We're talking about his visual identity, his defining characteristics, and about what it took to bring that aspect of this character to life.
Gore has a saying, which is that CG is not a verb, because often people will say, don't worry about it, just CG it. And part of the implication of that is that you can't just do anything with CG. CG has to be used, you know, in the right way at the right time, intercut with and building on live action that basically sells to the audience's eye that you really are there.
In The Curse of the Black Pearl, ILM had an advantage. For most of the film, the villain required no visual effects, and when he did, it was as a skeleton without the capacity for too much detail. But cut to the sequel.
Your son was fortunate enough to find a ship, and yet not so fortunate as to find land.
We made the decision on this film to cast actors to play the parts, and they're in the shots playing the characters, and we're going to put our CG versions over the top of them.
This was a decision made on day one between Gore and his team, under the belief that realism could only be achieved by using actors as a reference, both for the animation and the reaction of the cast. So he turned to his visual effects team.
The process of motion capture is not new. It's been around for a while. What's different on this show is in the past you will have shot a clean plate with nobody in it, and then later in a very controlled environment you would shoot the performance. And you have 16 cameras and the cameras pick up the action. With new technology, we're capturing the performance in the plate. Gore is able to direct the actors, move the camera, all in the way that you would if you were shooting a real live action sequence.
This meant Bill wasn't constrained to a space or worried about hitting a lighting mark. He could physically interact with the set, play off the reactions of his fellow actors, and more importantly, get immediate feedback from Gore.
He does a lot of very interesting, quirky things in the movie.
Price.
Because it's a communication between Gore and Bill on set and they work this out, I think we get a higher level of performance.
That performance could only ever be as real as Davy Jones looked, and ILM knew that when trying to match a character to an intricately constructed set, texture is everything.
When looking for Davy Jones' skin, one of the other painters was getting coffee, threw his coffee cup away, looked in the trash can, and there was a coffee-stained styrofoam cup. And he just thought it looked interesting, so he took it, scanned it. All that work with the coffee-stained styrofoam cup gets applied right here on the face of Davy Jones.
All these elements combine to give Davy Jones, a 20-year-old fully CG character, one of the most captivating performances of the time.
Bill Nye makes him a real character, and yet you really can't see the real actor. So that's a very difficult thing to do, and when you see Davy Jones, you'll realize how brilliant he pulls this off.
So you get a fantastic actor, a director committed to doing as much in-camera as possible, and a special effects team to do the rest. It was a huge gamble for any studio at the time, and fortunately for us, it paid off. I'm Luke Custer. Thank you so much for watching.
It's written